Well, today was frustrating to say the least. Didn't play well really in any phase of the game. Pitching wise, we needed to be good today, and we were not. Offensively, didn't think we did a good enough job of sticking to our plan, especially with two strikes. You have to give Cusick credit, their starter. He did an outstanding job, and Menendez, their best reliever, pitched at his best today. But we got to do a better job of competing with two strikes. And I told the team that after the ball game. Too many easy outs today. We hit 3 home runs. That was really pretty much the highlight of the day offensively. Sharp, I thought, was very good the first 2 innings, and then he struggled to find the strike zone in the third. And, again, it's just been a consistent thing for us at times this year when we don't throw strikes, when we walk guys and guys multiple runners get on base via the free 90, then we give up crooked numbers, and that's what happened. Now, then again, we had a tough 6th inning. I thought, one bright spot today, even though we got hit some, I thought Holt Jones threw the ball very well. Holt missed some time, obviously, with the suspension and then struggled in his start last week. Good to see him bounce back and throw the ball well. But bottom line, we weren't good enough in any area today. It's frustrating, disappointing, especially after, winning the first 2 games. Felt like, we certainly needed to be better than we were today. I appreciate the fans coming out today and supporting us as always. Wish we could have competed better for them today in our last home game here of the regular season. But we got to turn the page. We got the ACC Tournament coming up, and we need to be ready. It's a new season now. We're in the postseason part of the season, and hopefully, we can find a way to be a little bit better as we head into the ACC Tournament.
Coach, as you prepare for Durham, what was the biggest emphasis? Is it the free passes that the pitchers are allowing?
I mean, I look at when you look at our team just this week alone, felt like 2 of our 3 starters were pretty dang good, and I actually thought again Davis wasn't at his best. He had the 1 inning in the 3rd, and then we had to get him out in the 6th. But he had some bright spots in there. 4 of his innings, I actually thought he threw the ball fairly well. But Davis needs to be at his best. We need to be able to find 3 guys that are going to give us quality starts. And hopefully, with Maddie, Hennessy, and Davis, we had to push Davis' start back to today. He's been a little bit sore. Hopefully those 3 guys can give us quality starts in the ACC Tournament. And, bullpen-wise, it's good to see Holt be able to throw well today, because we're certainly going to need some guys to bridge the gap between our starters and Carson.
Does this kind of take away all the momentum you had built up finishing up the regular season, or because you had 3 big, that might be must-wins for the NCAAs, still take some positives moving forward?
It's a good question. I still believe momentum's always the next day starting pitcher. I mean, momentum's going to be dictated by your starting pitching, and you're going to have pretty good momentum in any ball game when you get quality starts out of your starters and you score early in the ball game. That's a recipe for winning a whole lot of baseball games, and we did that in 3 of the 4 games this week. Those are the things that we got to do. We got to be able to score early in the ball game, and we got to get quality starts, and hopefully again we can keep our bullpen guys to short 1-inning spurts and not have to stretch guys out. I think that's the thing that kills us. And when we get in trouble, when we got to go to the bullpen early in the ball game, and you start looking at your bullpen, and you're like, okay, we got these 3 or 4 guys that we can use, but we got 6 innings we got to get through. That's what makes it tough. A lot of our guys are better off when you can pitch them in 1-inning spurts. So again, I think from a momentum standpoint, our starting pitching's got to be good for us, and we got to find a way to score runs early and play with the lead. When we play with the lead, then we're a much better ball club.
You mentioned last night there was a big difference between 16 to 14 and 15 to 15 to 15.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys need to go and have some success now?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think, regardless of what our record is going into the ACC Tournament, we need to have some success. I mean, we need to play well in the ACC Tournament, whether we're 16 and 14 or 15 and 15. We certainly would have liked to have been 16 and 14 going into the ACC Tournament. Told the team that, re-emphasized it again today. But again, they got to go out there and do it. I mean, the bottom line is we're 56 games into the season, and guys got to step up and play their best baseball this time of year. And if we do that, then we'll give ourselves a chance.
What do you think about the resume you guys have put
Well, I think, when you look at our resume just based on our league, we're in pretty good shape. Behind, obviously the Louisvilles, the NC States, the North Carolinas, Georgia Techs. I think our RPI, again, I don't have the list in front of me, but our RPI going into today, we were at 34. So 34 in the RPI is pretty strong. Now, I don't know, again, how that's going to be affected by today's loss. A lot of that will be dictated, again, by teams around us as well. But, you're sitting at 34 in the RPI going into the last day of the season. It's pretty good. And, there's still, I think, some games going on, so we don't quite know where we're at in terms of, seeding going into the tournament. But I think we are. I've talked to, some folks and looked at it, and I think right now where we sit, I think we're in. But, anything can happen. Bottom line is you got to go in the ACC tournament. We need to play well. We need to try to, better our resume via the ACC tournament.
Coach, you've been playing well offensively, but you've had a lot of moving pieces lately.
Yeah.
Guys like Green and
Yeah.
Berry.
Yeah.
Justin Hawkins. How much of a challenge is that? It seems like it's been less of a static lineup than you've
Yeah.
had in recent past. How much of a challenge?
Well, a lot of it's been dictated by injuries. James Parker has been out now, and he has played some for us. He's been out. Hopefully we'll get him back by the ACC tournament. Michael Green was out today, unfortunately. He's been one of our hottest hitters lately, and, he came in today and couldn't go. Hopefully he'll be back by Tuesday. We certainly hope so. It's a big part of our offense after a great game yesterday. Not having him, finding out about an hour and a half before the game that he can't play was tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. So I think if we can get Parker back and we can get Green back, again, that gives us a little, some more options. Again, and we've had to make some adjustments just with our pitching based on some injuries too. And so it's not an excuse. Everybody's got to deal with it, but it sure would be nice to go into the ACC tournament, into the postseason with every available position player and pitcher at our disposal, so we feel like we can put our best 9 guys out there and run our best arms out there. When he went after the ball, there was a flare base hit. I don't know if you guys remember it early in the ball game where he went after a ball down the line and laid out for it, and he kind of got banged up on that play. And I think he was already hot and loose and playing, and he was able to finish the game. But he really got sore and stiff after he went to bed last night, woke up, came in. It's pretty stiff. He tried to hit. He did not feel good hitting, and at that point, we needed to shut him down. We feel like he'll be able to go, but he's going to need, a couple days off probably and, some work in the training room to get him ready. So hopefully he'll be ready by Tuesday.
I'm not sure even Seth Beer hit 10 home runs in 13 games. Have you ever seen a tear like Bird's on right now?
Well, I've seen some tears. I've seen some tears, but that's a pretty dang good one. Birdie, Seth, the first half of his freshman year was pretty amazing to watch. Bird's been amazing to watch down the stretch here. Reed Rollman a couple years ago had that tear that he went on for a while. So, yeah, guys can get hot, but it certainly has been fun to watch Grayson Bird do what he's done and carry our offense here, over the last, I don't know what it's been. I think he's hit like 10 home runs in the last 12 games or something crazy like that. I don't know, 13 games. I don't keep up with it quite as much as you guys do, but he certainly has been swinging the bat very well. Yeah, I think he did. You look at his velocity. The gun on the board was wrong a lot. So we kind of go in and check TrackMan in between innings just so we could see how hard he's throwing. His velocity was fine. His stuff was fine. Again, he had, I would say he had 4 innings where I thought he threw the ball well. He just had the 1 inning where he just lost feel of his stuff, and, it led to the big inning against a good offense.
I know you guys had some up and downs this season, but obviously for the postseason, that kind of all goes out the window. So where would you say your guys' confidence level is heading into the ACC tournament?
I think we're fairly confident. Again, we had a good week of baseball. It has been an up and down season. We had a very good first half. We had a second half that was really tough on all of us. But we did finish fairly strong. We had a good week of baseball this week, beating Coastal on the road, winning 2 out of 3 this weekend. So we've done some good things. I think morale's pretty good. Hopefully, me talking to them after the game about some of the things I was frustrated by doesn't take away from that. I think our guys, they're mentally tough enough to be able to handle that, and we'll be ready to go. I think we've got good leadership on this team. We got a great group of guys, great group of kids. So hopefully they'll be able to let it go. Today's loss, they've got a full afternoon and tomorrow, and, we'll regroup and get back together on Monday and have a good practice and get ready to go into the postseason. And, I mean, the big message is it's just a new season. Regular season's over now. Postseason starts on Tuesday. So, we'll be excited and ready to play.
Losing some veterans that have been a lot of this program, maybe their last game here, what are they,
Yeah, it's, senior day, last day is always, as a coach, you always kind of embrace that, I think, a little bit when those guys walk up there for the last time. In the last few years, we've been fortunate enough to feel like the last regular season game here at Doug Kingsmore was not their last game playing here, because we've been in a position to host a regional in each of those games. But, you look at Logan Davidson, that's a guy that he graduated in 3 years. He had an amazing career here offensively and defensively. Best shortstop I've probably ever coached and may ever coach. It's going to be a high draft pick, and he graduates with a 3.99 GPA in 3 years. So that's pretty special. It's pretty special to be able to watch that young man come in this building every day and do what he's done. Grayson Bird came here. He transferred here from LSU. He was looking for an opportunity to play every day, was willing to sit out, and he sat out. When he got here, he's dealt with some injuries, and I don't know if I've ever been around a player over the years that I've had Grayson who was more consistent than he's been, good and bad. When he's going good and when things aren't going good for him, he is, in my opinion, the epitome of the even kill athlete. He has just done such a good job with his maturity and just staying even kill and relaxed, and he just shows up every day, positive, plays the game the right way. I'm certainly going to miss him when this season is over. Hopefully it's a long time from now. But, seeing him come in here every day with that positive mindset and just what he's brought to the table and how good he's been for us, seeing him get better and better every year in our program just says an awful lot about him. Jordan Green, he's a guy that's played a lot of baseball for us for 4 years. Been a great competitor for us, good defensive second baseman, a guy that's kind of hit all over the orders, had some big moments here. It's going to be tough to lose him. Brooks Crawford, I know Brooks's year hasn't went the way that we wanted it to, this year for him. But he's had some big moments for us too, and has had a great career for us. So, there's a number of guys. Bo Gobin hadn't played a whole lot for us. Bo Gobin's like a student coach for us. That guy charts pitches and talks to the guys about what pitchers are doing to them in between at bats, and his dugout presence is unbelievable. And even a guy like him has meant an awful lot to us. He's a guy that graduated in 3 years. So, it's a special group, and I hope I'm not leaving somebody out. Luke Summerfield, again, grad transfer, came in this year, and he's done some good things for us. But it's a tough day. It's always a tough day when you feel like, some of those guys. Justin Hawkins, there's another one. Justin Hawkins is an amazing story. Somebody ought to write a story on him, quite honestly. Somebody in here, ought to sit down and interview him if you want to talk about dealing with some adversity. And this is a guy that was a pro prospect out of high school, went to junior college, and had an eye injury that kept him out of 2 years of baseball. He lost 2 years of baseball, didn't think he was ever going to play the game again. And he's sitting here now, a graduate from Clemson. He's playing every day for us. And it's just an amazing story. He's somebody that somebody in here ought to sit down and interview, when you start, feeling down and, about a tough game. You look at a guy like Justin Hawkins and all that he's been through. He's a special young man too. So it's a special group. It's a great group. It's a group of kids that's won a lot of baseball games here at Clemson over the last 4 years. And, it's the first group that in my 4 years that I got a chance to see some of these guys from their freshman year all the way through to their senior year. So it's a special group of guys, and hopefully we can continue to play for a little while longer.
Yeah.